Ready for another workout. Today we're gonna go upside down. If you have a safe wall, you can go upside down for some handstands. If you don't have a safe wall and you're very good at handstands, you can maybe do freestanding handstands. But besides that, you're gonna need some sanitary cleaners, you're gonna need some bottles. You might need a jump rope if you have one. And if you have a big backpack, you load it up with as much as you can possibly find, because we're gonna do some heavy ground to overheads today as well. Let's get started. So let's get warmed up with this first little piece here. We're gonna do a 4 quality piece instead of rounds or instead of a quality AMRAP here. So we're only gonna do 2 movements. The first movement has 50 repetitions. The second one has 100 repetitions. I want you to divide as needed, where your focus point remains going for quality. Specifically with the walking mountain climbers, I want you to try to stay in that proper plank as long as possible while slowly moving one leg at a time. And with the rear delt raise, as long as form stays good, you can continue to do repetitions, but I don't recommend doing more than 20 reps per set here. Now let's have a look at Marloes and Daphne for the walking mountain climber first. All right, ladies, I want you to go in a regular plank. And if you're at home with us, you can try this out right away. So I'll make them wait in the plank for a bit. In that plank, in the setup, I want your shoulder to be exactly above the wrist. And you're gonna be on the toes in the back. We always aim to keep approximately a nice line with the hips and the shoulders. Now, I want you to use your right foot first and place it all the way next to your right hand. Boom. Heel's gonna be in the floor. In this end position, which they're holding for a second here, you see the knee is right above the ankle. That is perfect. From there, you're gonna place the leg back, and then you move to the other leg. Boom, press it in the floor. Reach back, move the other leg. Now, while you ladies continue here, at home as well, I want you to listen to me while you're going on. This is actually the tempo we're looking for. I specifically mentioned and called it a walking mountain climber because we're doing that walking pace here. Consider this a opener for the hips, but also a nice way of doing some additional plank work here, forcing the shoulders to be pressed into the ceiling while having this balance change from left to right, which is a perfect way of getting warmed up. You see, it's a very slow paced movement as well, so it is totally okay if this takes you a good 90 seconds to 2 minutes to get through. You ladies can rest, solid. Now, for the second movement, you're going to need a set of bottles, so something heavy. We have our sanitary cleaners ready, as always. The red and the blue. Now what you're going to do, and at home you can try this with the bottles or without to just feel out the form. I want you to do the following. You're going to make a slight knee bend first. So let's have a look at them making a slight knee bend. Then you're going to hinge from the hip until the upper body is as parallel to the floor as possible. And then you just let the bottles hang straight down underneath the shoulder. Now from there, with an extremely long arm, you're going to reach up to shoulder height in a big half circle. Let's go, ladies. That's on a set. Boom. Come back now. And you guys can go on and make some repetitions here for the people at home that hopefully are looking at the screen right now doing exactly the same. Now you can call this a bend over lateral raise. You can call it the rear delt fly. You can call it the reverse fly. There's tons of names you can use here. But our aim is very simple. We're trying to target the rear delt muscles. And I also like to add some of squeezing the shoulder blades together in the top position of the movement. Now doing 100 reps of this, even with just bare hands, so without an object in there, can be very tough to do. So as I said before, I want you to break up the reps into good sets with proper execution and just aim for that good quality pump in the upper back and rear delt muscles. We just showed you the 50 walking mountain climbers and we showed you some rear delt races as well. Now it is your turn to start and get in on the action. I'm gonna tell you to continue and press pause. So it is time to get upside down. First of all, make sure your room is safe to do a handstand. If you don't have a safe spot to do a handstand again, so no safe walls or no clear walls, I want you to do one of the scaling options that we will provide you once we start showing you the upside down work here. But have a look at the upside down work for today in our handstand. So Marloes and Daphne here are both going to do just a regular handstand. We're aiming for hands on the floor, against the wall. We're going to have our heels against the wall. We're going to try to point our toes as high as we can. We're going to try to squeeze your butt, brace your belly here. We're going to press through the floor. We're going to be up as high as possible and our heads are right in between our arms. We're continuously breathing, which always helps to not get a redhead here, which is perfect. Now I want them both to come down. Now, these are the handstands that we're actually looking for if we call this RX, right? Now if we scale this, the first thing we can do is we're going to go on the floor. We're going to go on the floor in a regular plank. Now what I would love to see in the start is to keep your hands in spot and first just walk the legs up here. Let's walk the legs up. Boom, perfect. So we're still trying to simulate that handstand. Now what you can do from here, if this is very, very easy, is walk yourself towards the wall just a tiny bit more, but try to maintain proper precision. Marloes, can you stand next to her in a regular handstand to show the difference here? So Daphne is quite far away from the wall, but she's actually having a perfect line here with her hips above the shoulder, above the elbow, above the wrist, which is simulating the handstand of Marloes, but she's just slightly more away from the wall, which makes it a tiny bit easier here. Both of you ladies can slide off the wall. So what Daphne was doing, we consider that a scaling option. Again, go for something you feel safe in doing. Now let's first of all have a look at what should I do if I first of all am very afraid to go against the wall, or I'm at home and I don't have a safe spot to do this. We do kind of like an A-frame kind of handstand. So Daphne's going to show you guys that. She's going to go into an A-frame. She's going to get her head down and she's forcing her hips as high as possible and getting as much on top of her wrist as she possibly can. Now the lucky thing here is that Daphne is pretty flexible. She can easily handle this position. If I would do this, it would look like shit. So what I would recommend you guys do if you can't hold this position is to place your feet on top of another object. So you can use your sofa, you can use the table, you can use a chair, whatever you have to place your feet on to get them higher so you can drive your hips on top of your wrist, which is the perfect position we aim for in the handstand. I rest Daphne. Now the last thing that we will show you is an injury option for if you cannot hold your body overhead because there's too taxing on the shoulders. Now what we will do here is throw in some ab work. So we're going to make a hollow body position, which we will need in the second portion of the warm-up. We're going to have an object pressed perpendicular to the floor, so straight up to the ceiling, to still have some taxing on the pressing muscles there, but it's slightly lighter than holding something overhead. If you have something way heavier than a set of sanitary cleaners, for example, a heavy book or a bag full of books, whatever, you can also hold that right above the chest and the shoulder there. Perfect. Thank you, Daphne. Now, our second movement that we will have in this upside down portion of the day is going to be a hollow rock. So not your classic hollow body, but in the hollow body, we're going to try to get our body to rock back and forth with lots and lots of control. So let's show you how that looks like. Ladies, both go to the floor, and first of all, we'll just set up a regular hollow. So Marloes is going to show you RX in the hollow. Daphne is immediately going to scale, but she's going to scale the way that I would like to see a hollow rock being scaled. She's going to grab a knee, she's going to literally grab it and pull her chest against the knee, which makes her very roundy in the back. Now ladies, on your own, try to find that rocking motion here. Let's go back and forth. So when you rock back and forth, guys, you're never touching the floor with the feet or the hands, but you really try to control the way back and forth. Now this is all squeezing from the abs. We just showed you the movements. I actually hope that you guys already practiced it and made some safe space in your living room to actually try to join us in this one, because now I need you to get off the couch and actually join us in the rounds we're going to do. It is a total of 5 rounds of a 20-second handstand hold, followed by 20 hollow rocks, and upon completion of the last hollow rock, you rest as long as you need it before doing the round again. Why as long as needed? I need that 20-second into 20 hollow rocks to be one piece without breaks whatsoever. So that is the reason you can rest as long as you need. We aim for quality here in that upside down position and in that hollow rock as well, right? Now, we're gonna do a round with you guys. I'm gonna have my smartwatch timer ready to do 20 seconds with you guys. So I'm gonna be the one counting. If you don't wanna set your time for 20 seconds, just count in your head, that is all good. Now you guys are ready as well?
Yes.
That is nice, always good to hear. Okay, we start in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. All right, so they're on for 20 seconds. While they're standing there, I never want you to think, hey, I'm just going to hold a handstand. I want you to give yourself a good cue that works. So squeeze your belly, you squeeze your butt, you keep pressing through the center of your hand all the way up, you curl your fingers into the floor. We got 3, 2, 1, and we come back down. Beautiful handstand. Now from here, you're gonna go to the floor. You're gonna find your hollow. When you're scaling, you grab your knee. If not, you stay in hollow. You go for 20 reps in a row. Let's go, ladies. You're counting on your own. I'm not counting for you. Good, good, good. So if you feel like you're falling back, you need to fight your hollow a tiny bit harder. Pull that rib cage down. Squeeze that belly as hard as you can. You never want to get into an arched back here. That's very important. And if you're doing this with somebody else, FaceTiming, try to synchronize your rhythm. That would be perfect. There we go. Again, if you need something soft to place underneath your butt, that would be perfect. Otherwise, you will get battle scars from this one. There we go. So try to be as tall as you possibly can while going through these set of 20 hollow rocks, instead of making yourself little and literally swinging from the legs. You're changing the balance by squeezing very, very, very hard. Alright, so they did one round. I think you did one round with us. I now need you to rest as long as you need before starting the next one. You need to do 4 more rounds on your own, so continue and press pause. Alright, so it is time to get started on the actual workout portion of the day. And we have something grueling for you guys designed. It is a 20-minute AMRAP of double unders, back, ground to overhead, and also those classic frog jumps we did in the beginning of the month as well. And these are terrible for the heart rate, which is good for today. Now let's have a look at the first movement with the jump rope. So grab one. If you don't have a jump rope, we'll have options for you as well. Marloes is going to show you guys a couple of double unders here. Boom. And that is exactly enough for the camera. Now we pan to Daphne to show you guys what to do if double unders are not your jam. You go for singles. And while Daphne is continuing on her single unders, the rep scheme changes from 40 doubles to 60 singles. Nice and easy. But let's say you don't have a jump rope in your house, or you can't jump that hard in your apartment. I want you to go for our classic jumping jack. You do it at home double under. And how many reps you do? You also go for a 60 here. Feet touching, feet wide, arms touching, arms all the way next to the body. Simple jumping jacks. That is our first movement of the day. But now let's assume that we have to scale this movement because of an injury. And the injury is going to be, I cannot jump. In that case, we'll do mountain climbers. But then the fast mountain climber, here we go, pull your knees in. And what we'll do is we'll keep the same amount of repetitions, so 40 doubles become 40 mountain climbers, and every leg you move is considered 1 rep. Thank you, Daphne. Now from there, we're going to move to our back, right? So make sure the jump ropes are out of the way, you grab your back. Now we're going to do back, ground to overhead, but I do want you to go through the shoulder. So you gotta go to the shoulder and then to overhead. Please grab the bag on the side, make sure you have a firm grip. All the straps are as close to the bag as possible. Tie some knots in there. I hope they'll load it up. Now from there, you're gonna bring your butt down and chest up. You're gonna bring it back to the shoulder with a firm clean. Let's go. Boom. And from there, you're gonna bring it overhead. Boom, back to the floor, dots, reset. And you guys give me a set of 5 here, let's go. You guys keep moving. To the shoulder, to overhead. Now whether you use lag drive or not, when you go overhead, that is all good. If the bag is light, you can go strict from the shoulder. But with the frog jumps and the double unders in there, you might want to do some form of a push press there to get through the repetitions. Perfectly shown, ladies. Now, let's assume that Daphne has an injury here on the elbow that is saying, you should not pull. In that case, you're going to do only shoulder to overhead. So I didn't see how she got it there, but now she's going to do only shoulder to overhead, right? And for how many reps? She's going to do this for double the amount of reps. I mean, you don't have to clean, so you can double the amount of reps to overhead. So then it suddenly becomes 40 repetitions. Wow, that is perfect. Now, let's say she cannot go overhead. You also had to skill the handstand before this. In this case, you can't go overhead. You do the cleans and you double the amount of reps. So you do 40 cleans. Let's go. Boom, to the shoulder, back to the floor. Boom, to the shoulder, back to the floor. And there's always going to be a piece of the bag smashing in your face throughout the repetitions, but that's part of the game here, guys. That's homework workouts. Now, let's rest on the bag here, let's put it to the side. Let's focus on our third and last movement of this workout portion, which is our classic frog jump. Now what I want you to do, and if you're trying to follow us along at home, practice this one with us right away. You all go into a plank. Let's all go into a plank, right? Arms are long, legs are long, hips align with the shoulder. Now what I want you to do is you jump your feet next to your hands and you go immediately to a squat bottom. Boom. Here we go. Go back into the plank. And now find a certain pace, guys. Find a pace. So they know the movement now. You're going to find a pace. Boom. Good. Now if you look at the difference here between Marloes and Daphne, is Marloes is pulling herself right into a squat bottom. So once her feet touch the floor, her hands are off the floor. If you look at Daphne, she's holding her hands on the floor a tiny bit longer before reaching up. It is not scaled RX. It is slightly easier to perform. It's also a tiny bit slower. Since we do an AMRAP and we aim for as much work as possible, you want to go for Marloes' option. If not possible, you go for Daphne's option. Alright, let's rest for a second. Let's for a final time look at an injury option for Daphne that we have to do. We already did mountain climbers, and the injury option has to do with no jumping. So we can do mountain climbers again. So we take our movement from the warm-up. So we go back into our long plank. We step one foot next to our right arm, we set the left foot next, and then we go into a squat bottom. Shaboom. Hands back to the floor, and we reach back. Perfectly executed. So we do this instead of the frog jump. So let's call it a walking frog. Let's get started on the actual workout. You guys get off the couch. We just showed you all three movements. We gave you scaling options. We gave you injury options. Now it's time to put it all into magic and make it work. 20 minutes of an AMRAP. You're gonna set your smart wall timer at 20 minutes. I have mine set as well. I have my two ladies here to do the workout with you guys. So let's get started and wait for me to count you down. Okay, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 40 doubles to start with, or 60 single unders to start with. If you don't have a jump rope at home, you're probably doing jumping jacks right now, which is all good. If you're doing the jumping jacks, you also aim for 60 reps in total. So a quick set of 40 doubles, if you're very comfortable, wouldn't take you more than 30 seconds. But even if you have like 5 or 10 consecutive doubles, you know you're going to trip, you can always take a bit longer. It's good to do 20 minutes of practice in a workout like this. Now, we move on to our second movement because they're both done with the jump rope. It's going to be back round to overhead. The focus point, guys, is when you lower the bag down, is to bring your hips down as well to actually make it look like a true clean. There's a big tendency to only hinge from the hip and like rip it off the floor because it's not really heavy. I do want you to aim for proper cleaning. So let the legs and hips do a lot of work on the way up and drive through the legs on the way up as well when you go overhead. Beautifully. So all 20 reps are done, probably unbroken in the beginning, but if you actually have loaded up that bag with some weight, you might have to break this up later on because we're still doing a 20-minute workout, ladies and gentlemen at home. 20 minutes. We're about 90 seconds in now and we're only passing in that second movement. And we have one left to complete just one full round, this 20-minute time frame. There we go. So Marloes is done. She's going to go to her frog jumps for 10 quick reps. Now this one will give you quite of a lag burn because your legs are very much flexed in that end position there. There we go. Good. So you see the difference in pacing here, which is totally fine. This is Marloes doing the quicker RX version, and Daphne doing the actual version where she takes quick breaks in the middle as well, which is all good here. Both aiming to just do proper work and getting through that round. Now, I didn't peek at my screen. This took a little over 2 minutes. So 10 rounds is going to be a very big goal for people here to set. Some people might actually get that, but I want you to aim for approximately 7 to 9 rounds in this workout. Continue and press pause.